Welcome to another episode of Outside Shots. That's Eddie Johnson. You can't see it, you can see the graphic right now, but it's coming. It's coming. And there he is. There's Eddie Johnson. I'm Saul Bookman. Thank you so much for taking some time out of your Thursday morning on an unusual Thursday morning episode of Outside Shots due to scheduling conflicts. Really, EJ being in Vegas for the NBA Cup and gallivanting around the country like he always does is the reason why we didn't do a show on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday. So here we are today. How you feeling, EJ?
I was gallivanting.
Gallivanting.
Really?
Yeah, you were gallivanting around the country.
I was working.
You know who else was working?
Oh.
Matt Ishbia. How about that, huh? Decreasing prices for hot dogs and water and popcorn and making it far more affordable for a family of four to be able to attend a Suns game and not have to stretch the budget to the max. And I just thought that was a really cool move by him yesterday. Not a lot of owners would do that. A lot of owners haven't. And so major props to Matt for that.
What it goes to show you is when enough is enough for your pockets. Like, I would love to hope, for the future, for people in the future that they live 110, 120, 130 years old. I really would. I hope it starts while we're still here, so we can get, the beginning of it. I get it. But you only have so much, right? And Matt Ishbia basically is saying, look, I'm set. Like, I'm set. Like, I've been to his house in Michigan, okay? Oh, my God. Oh, my God. It's the most impressive place I have ever seen.
Oh yeah,
seriously, it's the most impressive home.
Didn't you go to Shenandoah? Didn't you go to Shenandoah?
Listen, man, it's the most impressive home I've ever seen. Just everything, the layout, outside, it's just ridiculous, man. I would never leave the house. I'm serious, and so. What that shows, and I even told Matt that, I was like, man, this is just ridiculous. This is unreal. Like, he's got everything. And he's going to live this life. His kids are going to live this life, and they're going to get everything that they want. He can get anything that he wants. And when is enough enough? We're seeing a lot of billionaires in this country right now, and bless their heart, where they are actually giving their money away. They're actually giving their money away to organizations, to individuals. Vance Jones, I believe. I think Bezos gave him and correct me if I'm wrong, people out there, gave him like over $100 million. And from what I understand, said, I know you're going to do the right thing with it. Didn't even give him a blueprint of what he should do with it. I know you're going to do the right thing with it. Right? And so a lot of great Buffett, Oprah Winfrey, they are basically now actually giving money away because they know you cannot take it with you. It was once a man that told his wife, I want you to bury me with my money. I don't want to leave it to anybody. I don't know. I want to take it with me. I don't want anyone to have it. And they asked the wife, they said, did you honor his wishes? She said, yes, I did. And we were like, what? Yes, I honored his wishes. That's what he wanted. He told me to bury him with all his money. And that's exactly what I did. Now, my mindset was, let me go find out where he is.
That's what I was just thinking. I was like, but?
Where is he? She said, no, that's what he wanted. And I honored that. Mm-hmm. I wrote him a check. She put a check in there, all his money. Go cash it. Yeah. That's the point. You can't take it with you.
Yeah.
But you can leave a lot behind. And that's what Matt Ishbia is doing. He's leaving it behind. He is leaving a legacy of ownership behind. We've seen it since he's taken over this team. He has spared no expense to go after players. He has allowed Suns fans to watch the games for free on their big HDs and their man caves and don't have to pay for cable, and they can just turn on the TV with they can use an antenna now. They can use, they don't even have to have a cable plug. They just turn on the TV and you see EJ. You see EJ.
Why do you have to use that voice?
So that's what he's doing. He's not leaving anything behind, man. And I love it. I think he's tremendous. And a night for two. Say you're taking your first date to a game.
Mm-hmm.
You already spent a ton of money for the tickets.
Yeah. True.
And you don't have any money left.
Balling on the budget.
Hey, baby, you want some popcorn? She said, oh, yeah, we can share it. No, you can have yours. I got mine. You want a hot dog? Yeah. Okay, got you a hot dog. I'm not that hungry. No, baby. You got your hot dog. I got mine. All right?
Fine dining, baby.
You want a soda? Hey, I'll get you two. You want to let's grab 2 sodas each so we don't have to get up and go back. You're paying $20. Are you kidding me? Man, that's why now guys are going to take women to the game instead of taking them to dinner. They going to save money. Matt just improved the marriage rate in Arizona.
Oh, man. I tell you what, man.
He improved the marriage rate.
He just created a life hack for first dates, man. I tell you what, yeah. Because I mean, how many times have you seen these stories about like they go on a date and the other person is like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get the steak and the lobster, and you're like, bro, what? Like, I ain't got that kind of money, you know what I mean? Oh, now hey, I got these tickets. They was like $50 a piece. Cool, I got you, or maybe 75, whatever. Still, it's still gonna be cheaper than steak and lobster. And then I'm spending maybe $24 max on a meal at the arena. You gotta love it. Matt, always taking care of the people and taking care of people in relationships. I appreciate that. So I listen. I love the fact that he's always said that he wants to take care of the fans. And one of the things that I think gets lost, and I think to some degree, we're going to talk about this today. Like, this is kind of like a palate cleansing episode because we wanted to talk about ball. We wanted to talk about the NBA. So this is a way different episode than you're probably used to. It's going to be a little bit of Suns talk, but not much today. But one of the things that I feel like has been a problem in the NBA and really sports in general is that it has been so expensive that the average fan, the fan that does not have, a 6-figure salary, the fan that doesn't have just, a plethora of funds to be able to throw at tickets, a family can't really afford to spend $500 maybe but once or twice a year to go to a game for their family. Like, that's tough. And what's happening is you start to get disconnected from your team and that emotional buy-in to your team because you don't ever get to see them in person. There's not that magic. Remember, listen, EJ, I think you remember the first time, whether it was as a kid or a teenager or an adult or even as a player. I don't know when your first experience was going into an NBA arena and seeing an NBA talent for the first time. But I remember it. I remember walking into Veterans Memorial Coliseum and seeing the first person I ever saw was Hakeem Olajuwon. And he was, his warm-ups and he was taking jump shots. And I was just in awe because he's 7 foot and he's big and he can handle the, and he's just everything. He was like larger than life, right? That experience is just imprinted. What's that?
Were you staring at him?
I mean, I was looking at everybody. Yeah.
How was you looking? He's like,
Yeah, just like that. I was 8 years old, EJ. Like, of course I was like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, but like I remember that experience to this day. I remember walking into Sun Devil Stadium and seeing the New York Giants and seeing Mark Bavaro, Lawrence Taylor, and Carl Banks sitting next to each other, and they looked like gods because they were so massively huge. Like it's something that you'll never forget, and that's what hooks you. That's what hooks you because you're like, these guys are like more than like, they're not just a mere mortal like in your eyes when you're a kid. And that experience is getting robbed from so many people because they can't afford to be able to go to these games and experience it themselves. And so I love the fact that Matt Ishbia did this.
So you hit a good point. You did, because I mean, like, look, money was different back in my day, obviously, but I would only pay $1 to go to Chicago Cubs games, sit in the bleachers, and then I'd only pay $1 to go to Bulls games, sit up in the rafters. And back then, $1 was a lot of money. Don't get me wrong. My mom could send me to the store with $2 and bring back a bag of red beans, a piece of salt pork, and a box of Jiffy cornbread mix with $2, and be able to feed a family of 7. So, and an onion, and be able to feed a family of 7. So I get it, money was different, but still that $1 did allow me to be able to go see my heroes. And you're right, to see Bob Love, who just passed away a few weeks ago, and learn the game of basketball from him, Chet Walker, be able to get an autographed bat and glove and hat from Ted Abernathy, the submarine pitcher from the Chicago Cubs, who took my Pittsburgh Pirate hat that I had just spent and paid like $10, $12 for. And I'm crying like a little baby. And he came back out of the dugout and said, "I'm going to give you this for that Pirate hat." And he took the Pirate hat and took it away, and he gave me a Cub hat, glove, and a bat and a ball.
Oh, wow. Are you serious?
Yeah, that's why Ted Abernathy is my favorite Cub ever, because he made me fall in love with sports. And, I think he's still alive today. If I ever met him, I'd give him the story and hug him.
That's awesome.
Because it's amazing how you can have an impact on somebody. So I get you. You're right. Matt Ishbia has done a tremendous job so far as owner of our team. And I applaud him for being economical and thinking about the fan and thinking about, the fan in another way, willing to spend money to go get the best players he can. And yeah, sometimes you're going to make mistakes in doing that. Sometimes it's not going to work out totally in doing it, but ultimately he's going to keep trying. And that's the beautiful part of a great owner. And so we are definitely blessed to have Matt Ishbia and what he has done so far for our Phoenix Suns.
Absolutely. We appreciate those of you that are joining us in the chat. Raymond Gonzalez, I appreciate you. Lucas LaFontaine, I always love that name, Lucas LaFontaine, Yanovis Fuller, and Mr. AZ. Thank you, Mr. AZ. By the way, you should check out his Instagram because he's all about the food. This guy, one of my favorite people. We've hung out at a couple of games this year so far. And he does a lot of food vlog stuff and rates food. And EJ, did you know that you can bring basically any kind of food into Chase Field? And Mr. AZ has tested that to the gill. Mr. AZ has literally brought in a tomahawk steak on a platter into the stadium, and they won't do anything about it. They'll let them come in.
It's legal?
Pizzas. Yeah, it's legal at Chase Field. Yeah, it's pretty dope.
Wow.
Yeah, Mr.
Really?
Check out his.
You should have a restaurant come cater to you at your seat. Oh, that would be a nice birthday gift if your significant other loves baseball, or Suns game. Have a restaurant come in and cater to them at their seats. Yeah.
Or what you could do is if you could find a way to do it. You ever see that guy? These people that'll just be on a subway. And the guy he has a bag and he pulls out the bag and he unfolds a table in front of just some random lady. And then he gets a tablecloth and he sets the whole thing up like fine dining. And then he has dishes and he pulls them out and he serves wine and everything like that right there in front of him. I don't know if you've ever seen that. It's like kind of
No.
viral stuff on TikTok and on Instagram Reels. You should check it out. It's pretty funny. It's pretty great. Like, what if you did that at a baseball game or something like that, just randomly with some
You don't have
stranger?
enough room to put the table though.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah,
maybe I have a lap
tray. You got to bring a tray and sit it on there.
TV tray.
Even then, the fans that's real close to you, they can reach over and grab some of your food. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But make sure you guys all hit that like button and subscribe to our podcast. It does have its own feed now. For those of you that maybe were kind of confused as where to find us on your favorite podcast platform, Outside Shots is now on its own feed. So all you have to do is look up the word Outside Shots on your favorite podcasting platform, and there we are in the flesh. So leave a 5-star review, leave a rating. We'd really appreciate it. Hey, we love y'all for joining us on this Thursday morning, and we do appreciate it. As you can see, there's a lot to talk about, but the biggest thing is like the ratings that obviously came out of late, and there's a lot of people that have been chiming in, and we're going to get to that after this break. As you can see, EJ is sporting the beautiful branded Bills lid right there. Branded Bills, one of the best hats in the game. That black and white, just monochromatic tone. Like, there's nothing you can hate about this, right? He's got the Arizona State flag. They also represent ASU and U of A and the Suns. So check them out. Their merch is second to none. EJ, you've been wearing branded Bills for about a little bit over a month now after you got hooked up and you've gotten your own stuff. Like, how do you feel about it? What is your overall assessment in terms of quality and the look?
Very sturdy. I like the way it fits. It enhances EJ. So I've been playing a little golf with it, but I normally wear it with my clothes. To cool me up. I'm already cool, but it just makes me cool.
Elevate your brand with Branded Bills, the perfect headwear and apparel. Whether you need snapbacks, truckers, fitteds, beanies, or tees, Branded Bills has you covered with performance and style. Looking for some gear to make your brand stand apart from the crowd? Branded Bills has you covered with the best custom headwear. Start your order, and their dedicated team will help you create the exact custom apparel you need, especially if you're a business out there and you want some merch. This is one of the best places to go to get yourself hooked up. They have partnerships with ASU U of A as part of their campus collection, and they are local. They are straight out of Mesa, Arizona. You want to support local. They are so local, and they've done this so well that they have actually gone national with all their stuff, and it is just becoming one of the hottest brands in the country. Branded Bills. And guess what, folks? We're going to hook you up with 20% off by using promo code PHNX to get yourself your hands on some fabulous Branded Bills apparel. So, all right, EJ, let's get into it. The NBA has a ratings problem right now. And I say right now because everything's temperamental. You don't know how things are going to shift. But there's a lot of things that go into this. You can talk about three-point shooting. You could talk about the style of the game. You could talk about, stars and their attraction and maybe wearing out their welcome or not wearing out the welcome. There's a list of things that you could probably point to. If you haven't had a chance, you should go back and look at EJ's long thread. And it was long. Like, I wanted to grab some screenshots of it, but there were too many of them for me to have to go through. But he really details, kind of the plan of why things are happening. And I think the thing about it for me is there's a little bit that has been taken away from two things: the three-point shot and the overall feel of these games. Like, what I loved about the NBA back in the day, and the reason why I feel like it became a little bit more intense than it is now, is there was trash talk was allowed a little bit more to a little bit of a different degree. And as a fan, just like the reason why people watch pro wrestling, they like the theatrics of it. Like, there's a little bit of the theatrics that I'm missing from the NBA. And I need to hate somebody and want them to lose really, really bad for me to want to tune into a casual game, right? Like, that's the feeling. Or I really want this person to win because I love them so much. Like, I just really like their game, right? there's a little bit of that has left because we tried to water this down. Oh, we can't hurt feelings. Let me blow the whistle, give you both a tech because I don't know who was wrong. Like, I don't like any of that stuff, man. I really don't. And then the 3-point shooting. KG and Paul Pierce got into it, and they talked about, and KG was pretty straight up a little upset about the fundamentals of the game, and that's where we're going to start first, the fundamentals, because EJ and I have talked about this, but KG and Paul Pierce kind of lay it out a little bit better, and I really want you to hear what they have to say.
You got to have trainers or assistant coaches in development that can develop young talent to think a certain way and to score a certain way. And then, too, let's teach the game, bro. The whole object of the game is to get to the basket and put it in. That's what the ideal is. So it's always been about getting a layup. If you had a mid-range because you couldn't get a layup, then you had a mid-range to either go off glass or hit a mid-range. Once they took your mid-range because he was sitting there at the free throw line, if you was at the three-point line when he came in, if you can make it, then you took a three. Bro, we're not teaching the game on development. So why would I expect a kid who's never been taught that to come down and have any type of notion what to do in the last 2 minutes or the last 3 minutes or to get the ball to Paul in the last minute? Man, Rondo already knew that. I'm finna get Ray these next 5 shots so I can go to Paul the next 2 minutes. Bro, we talking like...
Listen, the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth move that you got in your bag, EJ, you've talked about it multiple times. Like, you can't just rely on one thing. You can't be a one-trick pony. And I'm not saying that every player's like that in the NBA, but what I will say is we have come up in this AAU world where it's 3-pointers or layups, and there's not really much in between. And that is a major, major problem. I've seen it. I've been at the EYBL tournaments out here in Phoenix. I've seen it. It's just not great basketball, and fundamentally sound is definitely not even in the ball game, right? A lot of sloppiness, relying totally on athleticism as opposed to technique and fundamentals to counteract any kind of athleticism. It's kind of off-putting to a certain degree. And listen, as an older generation, and I'm 45 years old, I'll say that I'm a part of the older generation now. Like, yeah, I think styles make fights and styles make good basketball games. And if you have one style that you're constantly putting out there and nothing else, it gets boring after a little while.
Boring is the key word, right? Let me take my glasses off. This subject is very important to me. Boring is the key word. Like, it's kind of exciting if you go a different way to work every day. You just don't know what you're gonna see. You don't know. Like, if traffic is laborious, then you might not do that. But it's like, I used to have a cabin up in Sholo, right? And to go the normal way is to go up Carefree Highway. But if you keep going up that way, it gets a little boring. So the other way is to go all the way, I think, to Globe, and then you go up the highway up in the mountains, and it's turning, and it's going through different turns, and you like, you're enjoying it more. Like, you're like, okay, you're seeing a different derivative, right? Mm-hmm. It's almost like eating food. Like, who wants the same meal every day? Like, seriously, like, who wants to sit at a table and see the same meal every day? Mm-hmm. Even though it might taste good to you, but still, you want something different. Why do people pull out the salt shakers and the pepper shakers to put stuff on food? Because they want a different taste. Or they might add something, like make a hamburger a different way on Monday than they do on Tuesday. Like,
hamburger. Yep.
Everybody wants different, right? They might grill chicken or they might fry chicken. It's chicken, but they might do it a different way. That was the beautiful part of the game of basketball, man. Like, when you go to a game or when you play the game, different ways to score a bucket. Like, for me, I could shoot the three, but I didn't, because I didn't feel that confident that I could make a high percentage. And I was all about getting close to 50 as I could. So for me, I looked at, if I couldn't shoot 50 from three, I'm not happy. In today's game, if you shoot 38, they're happy. So now you're missing like 6 out of every 4 shots, or 7 out of every, 10 shots, or 6 out of every 10. Like, no. Like, I want to see it go in the hoop. So how is that going to work? Well, I got the running hook. I got the drive, go up under, left hand, right hand, get fouled, get to the free throw line, make 2 free throws, get an offensive rebound, put it back in, come off a screen, boom, jump shot, 15 feet. So when people watch me play, they could not say he's one-dimensional or he's two-dimensional. And then defenses, they couldn't what? Target me by taking away the only thing that I was doing. Maybe I only had 2 things, and that's what most players in today's game only have. They'll shoot a 3, or they put their head down and go to the rim. It makes you guardable. They don't get that. Like, when you have variety, you're unguardable. The advocate of 3-point shots that has made analytics so big is Steph Curry. Here's the problem, people, and I have said it till I've been blue in the face.
Tell me, Jay.
All right, is that no one is going to duplicate him.
Thank you. Yes.
Look, Magic, Oscar, Bird, you have had guys come in the league that duplicated them some way. Look at Jokic. That reminds you of Magic. LeBron reminds you of Magic with his passing. Like, Luka, and I say Luka, all these guys, they remind you. So they've been duplicated. What about MJ? MJ,
Kobe.
I'm not saying nobody is up there at the same level as MJ.
But Kobe was kind of like
Kobe
MJ.
was as close as you could ever be.
Yeah.
Vince Carter reminded you of MJ stuff with his ability to jump over people. Tracy McGrady. Like, you can find guys that were able to duplicate those tremendously unreal great players. Shaq. We're seeing a different version of Shaq in Giannis, how he straight gangsters people. Jokic, how he gangsters people. That's been duplicated. We probably would have seen maybe a nuance of LeBron if Zion actually can stay on the court. Like, those guys, as great as they were, they could be duplicated. We've seen undersized power forwards like Charles Barkley play. Like, we've seen it. We have not seen Curry. Trae Young tried to be Curry, and he stopped. Like, we're not. So analytics jumped on Curry, but what hurt analytics for a point, Saul, is the fact that LeBron, who has been the face of the league for 20-plus years, he kind of covered over Steph and KD. Like, it's always been an heir to the face of the league, right? So it started with Magic and Bird when David Stern first said, we're going to start now looking at the player instead of the team, all right? So it was Magic and Bird. Then it flowed to MJ, right? And then it flowed to
Shaq
and Kobe.
Mm-hmm.
Then it flowed to LeBron. Then LeBron took it. And for the last 20-plus years, LeBron has been the guy. But yet, Curry and Durant has been in that era. And yes, they have gotten their attention. But if LeBron had, filtered off like most of the other greats did after 13, 14 years, then they would have had a longer impact on the face of the game, which maybe then the Curry situation would have developed faster. But what's happened is you've had a lot of guys that have come in and they have not grabbed onto what Curry can do because they can't do what he can do. And then you have some guys that grab onto it and they just don't look good doing it. So he can't be duplicated. But the analytics people have grabbed onto it, and to their pat him on the back, they have convinced people to play like that. And every team in the league takes over 33s a game. Okay, 10 years ago, Golden State was the only team in the league that attempted over 33s. Now think about that. So everybody's doing it now. And Boston's putting it up 51 times a game. And now people are wondering why the game is not being watched at a high level. Because we're tired of them shooting them damn bricks. Yeah, they'll get hot every now and then, and you're like, ooh, like the Suns in Utah last week, 44 threes between them, and then 2 nights later, Dallas and Golden State, 48. Okay, but it's rare. And that's the issue right now. It's just too much of the three. I'm not saying it's not a good shot. Yeah, if it's used correctly, it is. But it's too much of it. And these math guys, I just want to tell you math guys one thing. And look, I'm going to stay in my place, but I'm going to put you in your place. Okay? Now, hear what I said. I'm going to stay in my place. But I'm going to put you in your place. I'm not a good math dude. I hate it. Matter of fact, when I got to Illinois and they put me in the business class, I said, I'm out of here. Heck no. Algebra and all that stuff, it doesn't compute. Now, hey, look, I can do the basic numbers. I know how to count money. But the other stuff, the algorithm, all that, man, take it and go with it. Good for you. That's your cup of tea. But I hate that you brought it into my game. I hate it. True shooting percentage. Man, go kick freaking rocks.
Psycho Blue.
10 for 20 is 50%. I don't want somebody 6 for 20 and you telling me it's a good ass shooting percentage because he took 8 threes. Don't want to hear it. It just drives me nuts, man. And I just hope that somehow, some way we do them away. And yeah, I'm coming after you, analytic people. Again, pat you on the back for what you've been able to do. A lot of respect for you. I can't stand you because I think you have ruined our game. You've taken the creativity out of our game. We play like robots, and I hate it. I truly hate it. And I love when I watch KD, I watch Devin, I watch DeRozan, I watch all these others. A lot of guys in the league that said, you kick rocks, analytics, I'm going to play my way. And I love it. For the most part, they've gotten their hands on these young people, and that's all they want to do is shoot threes, and they're bringing them to our league, and I can't stand it, and I'm done. Go right ahead.
Psycho Blue wanted to just piggyback on your lack of math skills and say, that's bad analytics, EJ. A guy who shoots 6 threes on 30% shooting is averaging the same as a guy who goes 8 for 8 from 2 and hit both free throws. By the way, EJ, this is just a joke, he says underneath. Before you lose it. Also, we got some super chats. One of them is by Psycho Blue. And that one says, professional basketball with no sense of fundamentals is proof that the b-ball gods are on the wrong side of the seal. 1,000,000%. I couldn't agree with you more. Lucas LaFontaine with a $5 super chat. And he says, just got my tickets for tonight's game. Good deals right now on Game Time. Shout out to Game Time, one of our beloved sponsors here at PHNX. And then also, finally, Raymond Gonzalez with the $4.99 super chat. It's a team game, EJ. The Celtics won, doing it now. Everybody's trying it, and that's
the problem.
That is the problem. And to back up your point about the lack of quality shooting, there is this graphic that I found on the Hornets game the other day, and the Hornets and the Bulls combined for 75 missed three-pointers, the most in any regulation game in NBA history. 75 three-point shots. EJ, that is beyond ridiculous that they would miss that many times. And then on top of that, just keep chucking. They would just, once they got to like 50 missed three, bro, you just missed 25 threes in this game. Could we find a different way to score? Not chuck it. Chuck it.
Okay, well, hold up. So it's robotic. That's the point. These analytic dudes have turned these humans into robots. People, get ready for 15, 20 years from now. Look, we're seeing cars ride around by themselves. Trust me, you go in the airport, you're seeing coffee machines make coffee without a person there. Like, robots are going to take over. You don't sleep. I feel sorry for people. I do. I feel sorry. You're going to have robots at the grocery store. You ain't going to be no human. Like, they're going to be working in the grocery store. Look, robots are taking over. I'm telling you. You remember the movie Planet of the Apes? Huh? Planet of the Apes, right?
Yeah.
Huh? They just took over. All of a sudden, they was looking at the humans like they were the animals. They had us in cages. That's where we're going. Better be careful. Better be careful.
Okay, calm down, iRobot. All right.
Huh?
I said, calm down, iRobot. Like,
I'm
all
just
right.
telling you, it's gonna happen, man. So you don't believe that? I truly believe it. I'm telling you.
To a degree, sure.
They're making robots right now for humans on each side because they have more. They're more like. I don't want to go too deep with this, but they're actually making robots for each sex because some say some women might not be having a relationship or some dude, and I'm not just talking about the other stuff. I'm just more talking about companionship, right? Like where you have a robot because you're a lonely person because you haven't found that right person, and you got a robot in your house.
Do you love me?
Becomes your friend. I'm just telling you, man. They are turning us into robots as we speak. And it's infiltrated sports, man. I'm telling you. Okay, I am telling you, you better stop it. You better stop these mathematical geniuses that's in cubicles, and they're ruining sports. They're ruining baseball. They're ruining baseball.
Hey, analytics ain't just coming for the NBA. They're coming for you too.
I'm serious, man. It's ridiculous. Like basketball is like genius. It's creativity. You remember Dr. J? Dr. J would swoop in and the analytic people hate that. They don't want that. They had Dr. J out there shooting threes. They would have turned Kareem into a three-point shooter. How do I know? Look at Wemby. Dude taking 11 threes. So based on how they think, we will never see Kareem in our league again. We will never see the dream shake because they don't want anybody posting up in the lane because they want spacing. They want you out of the way. So the guy, if he can't get a three, he can drive. So they don't want inside-outside type of offense. So they're going to eliminate the greatness that we've seen in the past that we'll never see again. Now, I get it. See, and they combined it, Saul. I'm not a superstitious person. I'm not this person that's out there looking for drones and thinking they're spaceships, okay? Like some people in our country right now. But my point is they're taking TVs away. Yeah, black and white TVs. I'm glad you dudes got rid of that. HD is the bomb. We get it. Improvement on some things. But they're doing it across the board. And that is a major problem, man. It's just a major problem. And we need to put a stop to it.
All right. I listen. The chat is killing me right now. They're just killing me right now. Psycho Blue says, EJ, I loved Armitage the 3 on Sci-Fi Channel as a kid. And then Raymond Gonzalez into your companionship robot comment said, mine is running out of warranty. And then King Nacho said, you can tell EJ has done research on robot companionship. EJ got a robot companion.
You're gonna eliminate men.
He said EJ got a robot on pre-order.
Hey, dude. Hey, young guys better be careful. Okay, they're coming up with robots that you can't match. Put it that way.
Meatloaf said, I saw.
Hey, Carl, you know where I'm going with this. Hey, you can't match. They're coming up with machinery that.
Stop. Just stop.
You can't match.
Stop. Just stop. Meatloaf said, I saw Terminator 2. It's not a movie. It's a documentary.
Yeah, those are the Jetsons. Hey, the Jetsons was done back in the freaking early 80s. And everybody said that'll never happen. But yet, we got freaking Waymo cars driving around by the dozens in our city of Phoenix, and they're driving by themselves. Okay? Amazon is getting ready to have drones drop off your packages and not a truck anymore. Are you kidding me? Like, you all don't sleep on it, okay? Progress is progress, okay? And men, you better start being more, more like men and have chivalry, because if you don't, you out. They compete with a robot.
Ted Offensive with the follow-up to the Terminator 2 comment said, Idiocracy was unfortunately a documentary too. It was. It absolutely was. I don't know if you've seen that movie, Idiocracy, EJ, but if you go watch that movie, oh man, it came out like about 15, 20 years ago. And at the time, you're like, man, this is some foolish, crazy, just dumb stuff. And then now you fast forward and you look at some of those things are happening. You're like, what the hell is going on here? Anyway, he was just talking about Waymo and the driverless cars. But obviously, you guys all have cars. And, before I even say that, let's get to this next break. There it is. All right. The car I was talking about was your car because you need to fill it up with gas if you don't have an electric vehicle. And Circle K is the place to do that. So go to Circle K and you can save some money too. Download the Inner Circle app and you get to save 25 cents off per gallon your first 5 fill-ups. That's pretty dope, right? But on top of that, you get 5 free drinks. So if you want a Polar Pop, a Froster, whatever the case may be, you can hook yourself up and go get that. And they'll give you 5 of them for free. And then once you run out of that, they always hook you up with deals. They have fuel days every now and then. They just had one a couple months ago in my hood, and I got to save 60% or 60 cents off a gallon on top of my Inner Circle discount, which right now is 5 cents. So 65 cents off a gallon. That's a pretty good deal nowadays. EJ drives a Tesla, so whatever. But
I'm getting ready to change, though. I'm getting ready to change.
Oh yeah?
Oh yeah, very.
Okay. Well, we'll get to that in a second. But for those folks who have yet to enjoy one of the best convenience stores in the country, you should definitely go to your closest Circle K and partake in the snacks that they offer and just the good overall vibes. Also, some Circle Ks are hooking themselves up with a Burrito Express. In case you didn't know, Burrito Express, obviously locally owned, big time ASU supporter, fantastic brand, great burritos. Circle K, Burrito Express. You gotta love that whole mix. So go to circlek.com and see show notes for details. All right, EJ, what are you gonna try and get?
I'm gonna stay electric though.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna get a Rivian.
A Rivian. Yeah, I knew you were gonna do that. I felt that one coming.
I sat in that truck a year ago. I was in Chicago, right? We were playing the Bulls, and I was walking down the street and getting ready to go have lunch with one of my good friends, another father figure of mine in my life, Mr. Robert Sperling. I know he checks in, so I gave you some love, Bob. But I walked past the Rivian dealership, and I'm like, what is that? Because it was when they first came out. Sat in it, man. That thing's got a lot of room in it. Like, I've had the big trucks. I've had, obviously, the Expedition over the years. I've had the Hummer 2, which is my favorite vehicle ever. I hate that I sold it. I sold it a couple of years ago. I hate it. It was in great shape. Sold it in like 3 hours, okay? I traded it in for my Tesla, by the way. Sold in like 3 hours. But, I got to maybe try the Rivian now. It's got a lot of room in there and see how I like that. Yeah. And the reason I'm getting rid of the Tesla is you should know why. Yeah. I don't want to ride anything that dude on.
Run far, get lost said, bro just went on a rant about robots and he drives a Tesla.
But again, I'm driving it. It's not driving me.
They have self-driving Teslas, EJ.
Oh, mine will self-drive, but I don't use it.
Okay, you have the capability.
Like, there's certain things about anything that can do things that you don't use, like that you don't use them for. There are a lot of you people out there, you go buy a rope, but you don't use it to jump. You go buy some nice track shoes, but you're not running.
True.
So don't get on me about having something and say, "Oh, you got this." Please.
There's
one gym membership and don't go.
There's one thing. Let's talk about things that we have that we don't use. Right. The NBA is flush with athleticism. We got some of the best athletes playing this game in the world. Right.
Yeah.
But there is definitely one thing that I feel like is missing at a high level. And I think the best person to be able to talk about that would be Gilbert Arenas.
You on a fast break? You supposed to monkey dunk that motherfucker. boom, I'm here. Like, what happened to that part of the game? When did going on a fast break, doing little soft shit? Like, there's moments in the game where you get to turn the crowd. Like, think about it. That's Atlanta, right?
Those bell layups.
What if you got on the fast break and you in there tried to break the rim or something? The crowd like, oh,
It's for the trading cards, too. If the trading cards was important, you would do more dunks, but it's not.
Michael Jordan on the fat, what, like, go back and watch what people did. Like, if that was Dominique Wilkins, that motherfucker better windmill something. It would have been a windmill from the left side, the middle, or the right side. It was going to be a windmill.
But you putting the picture on the wall, though. Remember you used to take the picture out the magazine? KG said the first thing, he's like, dunk everything on the fast break.
Everything.
Don't do nothing, because that's where you get your trading cards, your posters. He said, you have to do that. And I started looking at dunks in the box score and like the end of the season stats. Dunks was a thing. Like, you could be a rookie. I think I was like second in dunks because it just, like you said, fanfare. The fans want to see dunks. And if you ain't one of the dudes that's dunking when the fans come, you just, it's like, oh, he's trash.
Hey, I 1,000,000% agree. I've been saying that the art of the fast break, in addition to that, is also what has been lost. I don't know what the hell happened. And listen, I might not be able to break down an offensive flow to like the nth degree, but I do know what the fundamentals of a fast break are supposed to look like versus what we are getting. The spacing, the athleticism, and really inside of an individual, you have to have a little bit of crazy about you to want to snatch somebody's soul at the rim, straight up. And that's what I miss. And it goes back to my first point about, like, the trash talk and stuff like that. How many times, EJ, you grew up in Chicago. You know what it is to talk trash while you're hooping. You know what it is when somebody actually gets dunked on and how, bro, you can't come back to the gym the next day. That's just what it is, man. I don't make the rules. Like, dude, somebody is going down every single time you step on the court. That kind of just, that's what I feel like I'm missing from this game. It's like, to KG's earlier point, it gets a little too soft, like, it's like we took this everybody gets a ribbon mentality to the NBA, and it's just, guys are competitive. Guys want to win. Don't get me wrong. Like, Ant is the closest version to me about, like, not really giving a F about anybody, and he still kind of represents that old school mentality of I'm going to take somebody down. But even Ant has come on the record saying, I don't really like to dunk. It hurts my hands. Like, okay, well, bro, like, my favorite memories in the league are of somebody getting absolutely yacked on and then the trash talk. One of my favorite memories is Scottie Pippen dunking over Patrick Ewing and stepping over him, and then it causing like a ruckus. Like, that was just, and you got fired up. Even if you're a casual observer, you still got up and you were like, oh my God, let's go.
No, Scotty looked at him and then he stood over him. Like, had his legs like on each side of his body and looking down at Patrick. Patrick like, hold up, man. Yeah, then Mike did the little reverse fake on Oakley and went baseline. Wham, right? You're 100%.
Where did it go?
Right.
Where did it go, man?
Look, let me tell you something. You said a lot of stuff, so let me just go quickly with it. First, you mentioned the fast break. There are no fast breaks. Now, the league has tried to help it by what? By instituting the take foul. So now guys can't just reach out and grab. I mean, we went through about 3 years of that, of guys just grabbing a guy to stop a fast break. And I was saying at that point, I was like, doesn't the league know they're ruining the game right now? They're taking away the most beautiful art form of basketball. Is the 3-on-1, 2-on-1, 1-on-1 fast break. That is where, if you go back in history, people, and you look at highlights, a lot of the highlights have come from a fast break. That is the most beautiful part of basketball. You know why? Because it stops you from doing things on the offensive end where you'll pay a price on the defensive end. Attempting a crazy pass leads to a fast break. Taking a bad shot leads to a fast break, right? And so what you were tentative about it, going to the offensive glass and trying to get an offensive rebound, and you don't get it, and they get it, and they're gone, fast break. That's why the Lakers were so good. They made you stay in between. Because if you went to the glass and you didn't get it, then Magic was gone. I mean, Magic was just, Eric, look, that unleashed Magic. That's why. Fast break is unreal, and it is gone. It's gone because they don't know how to run it. They don't. The fast break today is running 3-on-1 and flaring out for a damn 3. Think about that. We have seen more game-winning attempts on fast breaks where guys flared out the 3 and didn't even need the damn 3. I've seen guys flare out for a 3 and they're down 1 late in the game. Mm-hmm. Like, so again, analytic people have mucked it up because they it's almost like, come on, we got computers. Every now and then we got to have somebody come out to the house to fix the virus. They have like built the computer, but they've also instituted the virus. Like, and sometimes they don't know what to do. How many players we see jump up and get ready to pass the ball and come down and make a bad turnover? Like, or they gotten so hooked into the Euro step that they don't have any other kind of move on the fast break but a Euro step. And now they're running people over because guys are guessing on them, and the Euro step now is starting to be effective. Like, so it's those type of things. I love Gilbert Arenas and KD when they're talking. Gilbert gets a little crazy sometimes.
He does.
I just interviewed Kevin Durant the other day on my radio show. If you all have the SiriusXM app, or you can find the interview online, go ahead and type in Kevin Durant. I mean, what he had to say about the state of the game is unbelievable. But those guys are tremendous, and I laugh when Gilbert, go in there and do a monkey dunk. Yeah, if you can dunk. I couldn't dunk. So I'm not trying to monkey dunk. I'm just like a little bit over the rim dunk. But I'll dunk it if I'm open and I know, it's boring looking, but, I do it, right? Here's the problem. And I am so glad you brought up Anthony Edwards. I'm so glad you brought up Anthony Edwards. And here again is why analytics is messing us up.
Yep.
Anthony Edwards is in his 5th year. He's into his 5th year, people. Okay? The reason the league was looking at him as the face of the league upcoming is because he reminds them of who?
MJ.
And Kobe.
Mm-hmm.
Mentality, how he talks, how he acts, and how he jumps. He is devastating at the rim. But yet, this year, he's taking 10 threes a game. So you a fan, you go watch, and you say, oh, he's going to be the new face, he's going to be the face. And he's doing the same exact thing that everybody else is doing. What made MJ and Kobe different, what made LeBron different, what made Magic different, what made Bird different, is they were doing things that no one else could do. He's gone right to the pack. So how can you be the face when you're actually you're not going to be the best 3-point shooter. You're not Curry. That's what I said. So you can't duplicate the best. Curry can do that. He's the only one. Then he says, I don't like dunking anymore. What? Are you serious? That is the reason why they're trying to make you the face of the league, because of your devastating presence at the rim. That's the stuff I'm talking about, man. And that's where we're headed. And it really disappointed me when I heard that from him. Like, dude, when you're young, you're not scared. We jump off the top of a rooftop, correct? Mm-hmm. When you're young,
yeah.
When you're young, you are like fearless. Look at Wemby, 7'10". He out there shooting 3. Dude, get your behind in the rim. You remember 2 weeks ago when they played the Suns? He was 0 for 6 from 3. And he came out in the third quarter and he took his long, tall drink of water behind in the paint and he ran off like 10 or 12 points. And you know what? He got bored doing it. So he ventured back out the 3. He got bored. Like, Are you kidding me, dude? That is the devastation you need to employ every night because that's your advantage. Your disadvantage is shooting a three. It's just that's where our game is going, and I'm not going to allow it to. They can dislike me all they want, and historically, analytic people don't care for me. I respect you, but I don't care for you either because I think you're ruining our game. The beautiful part of basketball is leaving, and I'm the one that's not going to allow it to leave. Yeah, I'm that old man on the lawn, but I'm on a lawn that's pristine.
I mean, you could take what you just said and apply it here at home. You know, how many, look at Devin Booker is a mid-range assassin.
Yeah.
And then now he's, especially at the beginning of the season, like he was chucking up a lot more threes than he had, right? Like, and he took away some of the reason why he is so great. What that mid-range devastation, you know what I'm saying? And that's what I love about Devin Booker is that he was able to get 30, 40, a night with ease from the mid-range and nobody could stop it. And then, we got analytics getting into the head, people talking about you need to chuck up more threes and all this other stuff. And he modifies his game a little bit to try and do that. And I would say like, no, man, you do what makes you great. Don't worry about the numbers because the numbers are going to take care of themselves because you're so great. That's my thing. It's like, be great at what you truly identify. Chris Paul should never be chucking up threes. Keep doing what you're doing, Chris Paul, right? Like that's what makes him great. A great facilitator, a great mid-range shooter. Like that's okay. But these analytics, like you said, are getting in the way of the game, and it's really unfortunate. And,
it really is, Saul. It's very unfortunate, and I just don't want to hear people talk this three is better than a two smack. It is. We know it.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you, 3 twos is better than one damn three. True. And the percentages of you making 3 twos is much better than you making 2, 3 threes. And I don't want to hear about contested shots and all of that. Move you behind, get open, get a good look. I don't want to buy it. Okay, this is a dude that trust me. I averaged 22 points in 28 minutes the year I won 6 man. And I took 1 3. That year I maybe took 2 or 3 threes a game because I felt comfortable and I shot over 40% doing it. But I still didn't take a ton, and I could have because it's about balance.
Yeah,
that's all. It is.
If you're watching us on TV on your favorite streaming platform, this show's about to wrap up for you, and you can watch us over at gophnx.com right now. Before we wrap up the show, I just talked about some things being unfortunate in the NBA. I do want to just say one thing real quick, and I'm going to do my best to try and put this the best way I possibly can. Like, yesterday and today, you're going to see some things, and it's really unfortunate in our company that, we had several people that are no longer with the company because of, some cuts. And I wish there was a better way to be able to articulate how painful this is for not only us that remain, but also for the viewers that have invested so much time and energy into some of the personalities that you come to know and love. And we truly our hearts go out to all the people that will be on to other new adventures, and we love them, we miss them, they're still our friends. We truly wish nothing but the best for them, and sometimes these decisions are made, and you have to live with them and move on if you're staying behind or even moving on yourself. And so I just wanted to say that I just love every single one of them, especially the people here at PHNX that are going on to other pastures. We just, I just truly, it meant the world to me to have the opportunity to be able to work beside them. And I don't work at PHNX really anymore. I'm kind of covering the entire country and looking at things, but and this is happening elsewhere too. And it's just, I just wanted to say that because they deserve that respect and that love, and I'm always going to be a supporter of theirs, and I'm always going to be here. So.
Yeah, those are great words, man, because especially during this time of the year, holiday season, you don't want anybody to have to change and have to worry about what they're going to do next. But what I would tell those individuals is, this is the road that you climb, and where you sit doesn't mean that's where you level off at. The goal is to continue to climb, and sometimes change leads you to something better. You just got to open your eyes and make sure that you don't let it pass you by. And that's just the way I've lived life, and still living it that way right now. I don't let anything pass me by with opportunity. If I like it, I'll try it. I'll go after it. And if I don't get it, I'll just say your loss, and I'll move on, and I'll just continue to go at it and try it. That's just the way I am. And like I said, you can't take anything with you. So you might as well go after it with a vigor, and hopefully all those individuals will get on to the next step and have total success.
Yeah, I mean, and listen, I think it's all cyclical, and hell, it could be me one day. I that's why I cherish this show so much. Is you just never know when it's our time, EJ. Not only in the professional world, but also in life. Like you just don't know what's going to happen on a day-to-day basis. And the pandemic, I think, really brought that to light for a lot of people. And suddenly, all of a sudden, your friend from back in the day is like gone. And you're like, what happened? I'm like, man, you just went to sleep, never woke up. Like all these random things, and just. In this instance, it's just hard for everybody. And, and I see that in the comments, and, there's some people that are attacking, people that had nothing to do with the decisions and stuff like that. And it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. And we learn, we move on, we try to get better every day. And listen, our goal here is to spread love, to talk about the game we love, to share love here. And we do appreciate you all taking the time out of your morning schedule to listen and watch. That's Jump Shot 8 on Twitter and on Instagram.
Suns tonight against the Pacers. They had a nice little break here. So let's hope everybody's healthy and get this thing restarted and get into a nice groove. They've gotten a couple here before the break, and let's see if they can continue and move forward.
Absolutely. And I got to shout out my guy TJ McConnell, whose name went into the rafters over at the University.
Yeah, one of my favorite players.
There you go. Yeah, one of my favorite players, you too. So.
Certain guys you would love to have on your team.
We tried.
I know we tried a few times, and I'm not. Look, I don't want to. I'm not getting in trouble here with saying that I'm going after TJ McConnell. I'm just saying. Guy that you would love to have on your team anywhere you are. He's just that good of a basketball player. So congratulations. Yeah. Congratulations having your jersey retired at University of Arizona. That's the school that Illinois beat a number of years ago.
All right. All right. So anyway, thank you for joining us. And you could follow me on Twitter and on Instagram as well at Saul_Bookman. You can follow the show.
Hit that like button. Like us to death. So we can keep our job. Hey, if you want to keep us, you got to explode with all the likes and the subscriptions to us. Okay? All right, just letting you know.
That's EJ. I'm Saul. We love y'all. Peace.